The Western art music section of the site has information on the Baroque, Classical and Romantic periods, as well as 20th century styles. The Baroque, Classical and Romantic periods are presented in a similar way, so we'll look at the Classical period as an example of that presentation. If we expand the section, it begins with the Arts and Social History page. This page deals with arts, social history, art, architecture, science, and also looks at the role of musicians in the society. Following on from the Arts and Social History page is the Philosophy page, and this page looks at important ideas which influence composers of the period. The Key Differences page looks at differences between this period and the period which came before it, in this case the Baroque period. These differences may be musical, or they may also be social. Instruments and the Orchestra focuses on important instruments of the period and how those instruments were used in the orchestra. The Instrumental and Vocal Forms page is a summary of the popular forms of the period. So for example, if you were studying the Classical Symphony, just click the words and it will jump down to the section. Remember though that this is just a summary. The detailed information is found in the Elements section. You can either click on a link to go back to that, and it will go back to the Elements section where that information is, or you can navigate straight to the Elements section by expanding it, going down to Structure, looking at multi-movement instrumental structures, and finding the Classical Symphony. So here is the detailed information about the Classical Symphony, an overview of the different movements, and a listening example of the first movement of a Mozart symphony. The Use of Musical Elements page focuses on how composers used elements in that particular period. Simply click on the element to see a video tutorial with scores and recordings. The Summary and Terms page is a revision page for students, and it has the major points from each of the pages in the section. All of these pages are linked back to their origin, and there is also a Key Terms page which is linked back to its appropriate page in the Elements section. Lastly, this page looks at the arts history of Western Europe at the beginning of the 20th century. Simply click on the chapter heading which interests you, or scroll through the different chapters.